Ah, so you're the one that's been causing all this trouble.
You. After all you have done to me, I shall relish my revenge.
Alright, here we go, mate. Let's go.
Huh. I feel like there's a badass fight going on. But we don't have the budget to show it. Anyway, hello and welcome back. And with me still being stuck in this room, and since it's the season of giving, I decided to review something a lot more light-hearted than the previous game I reviewed. It's Spyro, the reignited trilogy. A game made in response to both the success of the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy and the declining interest in Skylanders. So let's see if it takes more than a bit of polish and a facelift to get this game standing up amongst modern day games, as well as how it compares to the original. I'll try and keep things brief with the story section, both because we're technically reviewing 3 games, as well as Spyro not being well known for its story. Well, the original games anyway. Let's start with the story of the first game, where an evil villain named Gnasty Gnorc turns the bunch of dragons into crystal for insulting him on public television, and might also be trying to take over the dragon worlds. So a young dragon named Spyro heads out throughout the world, rescuing his fellow dragons, collecting their treasure, and defeating Gnasty Gnorc, which sounds a lot harder than it actually is, as he doesn't really fight you. Instead, the encounter against him mostly involves him running away. Next we have the plot of Spyro 2, where after defeating Gnasty Gnorc, Spyro tries to head to Dragon Shores so he can go on holiday, only to get intercepted by a group of characters in the land of Avalar, who want him to help out the locals overthrow an evil lizard wizard named Repto. Oh, and there's also a fat bear that forces you to pay him your gems in order to let you continue. And then we have Spyro 3, which is probably the most extensive when it comes to story. That starts with a rabbit named Bianca and a group of Rhinox stealing the dragon's eggs and giving them to her mentor, the sorceress, who I can only really describe as this blue crocodile dinosaur thing with a crown, whose picture on her boss health bar looks like she has resting bitch face. So Spyro and Hunter head off after Bianca to the Forgotten Realms, collecting dragon eggs, allying with new friends along the way, and trying to undermine the sorceress's plans. Eventually, Bianca realises that her mentor is actually evil when the sorceress reveals that she plans to use the dragons that hatch from the eggs, cut off their wings, and use said wings for an immortality spell. Because nothing says fun for the children than preventing child murder. So Bianca teams up with Spyro to defeat the sorceress. Spyro beats the shit out of Moneybags, and then you unlock the true final boss against the sorceress and drown her in lean. And that's the plot of all 3 games basically covered. This game can basically be described as a 3D collectathon platformer, kind of like Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, but its choices and unique traits make it stand out from all the others. The basic moveset involves jumping, gliding, flaming your enemies, or charging them like a pissed off goat. And while those controls might seem simple, it's the situations they're used in and the choices you have to use with them that is the real meat of the game. In the later games you get to unlock a few new abilities for Spyro, and in the 3rd game you even get to play as other characters with their own unique play styles and levels of their own. Oh, and there's also skateboarding for some reason. As for controls, I can only really compare them to my experience with the original 3 games, but from what I remember, these game controls a lot better than the originals, feeling a lot more fluent and responsive. Although I did play the original games a long time ago, and I probably wasn't as good with video games as I am now. Plus I was using a third-party controller, which might have contributed something. The graphics look pretty impressive, hitting that sweet spot between highly detailed and cartoony with its own unique aesthetic. And it does a great job invoking the original designs, and in some cases even improving upon them, whether it be small details or making more lesser or generic characters have designs that are a lot more unique and, for lack of a better word, characterful. I like the characters in the original game, which, to be fair, kinda looked like polygonal Muppets. Or am I the only one that thinks that? And they did an amazing job with revamping the soundtrack, keeping it recognisable while adding a few new features that aren't too distracting. Well, for the most part anyway. Which, fun fact that pretty much everyone knows at this point, but the original 3 Spyro games had their soundtrack either mostly or completely composed by the former drummer of the rock band The Police, Stuart Copeland. And while this information isn't really relevant to my review, I feel that if I didn't mention it, someone would complain that I didn't bring it up. So, here you go. This game, or rather games, does a great job at revamping the original trilogy, and the flaws it does have are either ones it shares with its original counterparts or are so negligible in the grand scheme of things that they're not really worth mentioning. And as someone that appreciates Spyro in whatever form he may take, I can definitely say that I appreciate this game and enjoyed it a lot, and I say it's worth giving a go regardless of who you are, although my condolences to anyone that has to put up with treetops. And as for the future of the Spyro franchise, that's kind of up in the air as of this point. Maybe they'll do a 4th game like they did with Crash Bandicoot. Maybe they'll reboot the series for the umpteenth time. Maybe they'll remake or otherwise bring back the Legend of Spyro series. Bring back Skylanders. Heck, they could even do a remake of Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Wow! On second thought, perhaps not that last one. Well, that's all from me. See you guys.
Oh, fuck! Sorry, lad. Couldn't hold him off any longer.
So, you still don't take me seriously, and I shall use this to force everyone to respect me.
No, there's no need for that. Listen, I'm sorry.
What?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was wrong for treating you badly and for not accepting you for who you are. There's no need to pretend to be something you're not to get respect. You should be respected for who you are. I didn't see that, and I'm sorry. You really mean that? Yeah, besides, it's almost New Year. I think it's time we made amends. Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll let you review the music in my next review. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll do my best. Well, I guess showing people a little respect and compassion can actually help out and achieve something in the end.
Aye, what about me?
Shut up, Jeremy, no one cares. And the declining interest in where a rabbit named Bianca, and most of its And as a person that appreciates Spyro...
No, wait, I'll come from the side.
You. After all you have done to me, I shall relish my revenge.
Trouble with the trolley, eh?